What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Grey Man Operations. Today we're going to be talking about my first impressions review of the Aimpoint Acro. This is what I consider to be the best closed emitter optic on the market, guys. The firearm is empty and safe and will remain so throughout the video. The reason I'm doing this review so close to the time that I got the Acro, which was the 12th of April 2023 on my birthday, is because I truly wanted to present my first impressions. What I found in the over half a decade that I've been reviewing here is that something is new for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then it sort of blends into the feeling you've gotten or get about any other piece of gear. Now, the reason I got the Acro, besides really wanting it, is that I am going to start testing and reviewing closed emitter optics. Now, this is a Sightmark closed emitter optic, and they asked me if I would be so kind as to review their offering. Sightmark has a, some people love them, some people hate them, feeling in the market, and they were very kind to send one to me and get my opinion. And I felt that due diligence dictated that if I'm going to start reviewing closed emitter optics, I get the best one on the market. Now, the first thing I want to touch on with the Acro is, does it affect concealment? The Aimpoint Acro is known to a lot of people as the microwave oven or the mailbox that always delivers. It is substantially larger in terms of its optic housing than normal, or shall I say conventional open emitter red dots. It's even larger than some of the other closed emitter red dots on the market. That size contributes to its ruggedness, which is second to none. However, people do express concern that the size of the red dot will affect concealment, especially in the appendix carry position. As you see from these shots, from all the angles that matter, there is no appreciable difference when you're running the Aimpoint Acro, running in a proper holster with proper concealment garments, etc. As you can see, I don't wear clothes, it's too big. The clothes I wear is Urban Warrior. The belt I wear is Core Essentials, and the holsters I run are generally Southwest Holsters, Bravo Concealment, Shinobi Kydex, and the like. Guys, with regards to mounting the sucker, I'm going to do a dedicated Patreon video on how I'm able to mount pretty much any red dot on my standard Glock 19. I'm also going to show you exactly how I mount the Aimpoint Acro with a mounting plate and that sort of thing. I can't do it on YouTube because they will literally have a shit fit. So if you want to join on Patreon, it's the first link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. It's also the first comment on Facebook and Instagram. Also, guys, next week I'm giving away another Nightcore BP23 backpack, and the week after that I'm giving away a Holosun 47K on Patreon. So if you want to get in on that, do so. The dot itself is extremely bright. Never have I ever had to turn a dot down more than I've had to turn the Aimpoint Acro's dot intensity down. This thing is white hot. They claim 50,000 hours on setting number 6. Setting number 6 is about as bright as the full settings on all other red dots. Hey Google.
Hi, how can I help?
How long is 50,000 hours?
50,000 hours is 5.704 years.
So in the manual, they say you're going to get 5.7 years out of the sucker on brightness level 6. This is what brightness level 6 looks like in daytime and nighttime. I generally run it on brightness level 5 or 4. Because that is like brightness level 8 on most other red dots. Guys, with that footage, please ignore the accuracy and the lens flare as well, because that is literally a camera looking through a lens, looking through another pane of glass, looking through a red dot optic pane of glass, looking through a third pane of glass. So it's going to cause exaggerated lens flare, and I can't particularly be accurate when I'm doing it because I'm literally trying to aim through a camera. But I wanted to just show you how intensely bright the dot is, and that was on level 6. So there's still quite a few more levels to go if need be. I will also tell you that the glass on the Acro is the clearest glass I've ever looked at, and that's interesting, especially considering I'm looking through 3 panes of glass. We've got a piece of glass at the back, we've got the actual optic window, and we've got another sort of sacrificial glass in the front. It's extremely clear. There is no particular tint to it. It's called a notch filter. A lot of optics use it to assist with battery life and the clarity of the red dot, so you can put it on a lower setting. There's no discernible notch filter. It's extremely clear. In terms of presentation, it's more or less the same for me. I hover around the 1.2 to 1.6 second mark for a draw and aimed shot at 10 meters, where I am basically ensuring I'm definitely going to hit my target, which you always should do. And that is pretty much the same with the Aimpoint Acro. I find that I have no appreciable slowdown in my draw and presentation. Now, I have been running red dots for a long time, so that does bear some consideration. But I do also feel that if your first red dot was going to be the Aimpoint Acro, it would be the red dot you learn to present on. And so as you build up your normal speed, you'll pretty much reach a high level on this red dot. What I'm trying to say is that there's no appreciable slowdown or deficiency when running this red dot, even though some people do say the window size is a bit smaller. It is taller than it is wider. And I find that does help, because generally when you can't find your dot, it's somewhere in the top left or top right of your window. And so having a slightly taller dot means that it's more visible when your presentation isn't perfect. Also, the dot sits lower on the slide than your Holosun 507s, 407s, that kind of thing. So if you, this is going to be really weird, guys. The firearm is empty and safe, so just bear with me here. If you take a look at that, you'll see that I have complete capacity to co-witness. I see more of my iron sights with the Aimpoint Acro than I did with my Holosun, and I am actually considering going to a slightly lower set of iron sights just to clear up the window a bit. Staying on the red dot itself, I find target transitioning to be a breeze. That dot is a laser beam. I'm really impressed with the intensity and the solidness of the dot. There are lesser quality red dots that I have tried in my life that when you transition left to right laterally or horizontally, obviously, you do notice a little bit of flicker in the dot itself. The Aimpoint Acro remains constant. Now, when you present with the Aimpoint Acro, you do feel like you're kind of looking down a tunnel with your red dot somewhere in the middle. You're not focused on it, but because the optic shroud is so wide, especially on the sides, you kind of just need to put those side pillars on either side of your target, and chances are your dot's going to present itself and be where you want the round to go. It's not a perfect practice, but I can see how it will help, especially with new shooters getting used to red dots. In my 300 or so rounds with the Aimpoint Acro, I can tell you that the weight of the Acro has not affected my Glock's ability to cycle at all. In fact, I could be imagining this, but I feel like the added weight helps with recoil control. It just makes it feel, your felt recoil feels like the slide is cycling flatter. Guys, the Aimpoint Acro is as good as what people thought or think it is going to be. It, in my opinion, really is the pinnacle of closed emitter optics. If things go to plan and Patreon continues to grow at the same rate it's currently growing, I do foresee myself giving away an Aimpoint Acro, including mounting plate. As you know, I commit a massive portion of my earnings on Patreon to purchasing gear to give away to my patrons, because I want you guys to be able to run the best gear. Remember guys, this is a first impression review. It is subject to change. At present, I'm really impressed, and I'm building a baseline for what I'm going to use as my methodology for when I review companies like Sightmark who are trying their hand at their first ever closed emitter optic. I just feel like getting the best and understanding how the best operates is just me doing my due diligence to you guys, so when I say something else is really good or really bad, you know I'm basing it off an opinion that I received from getting the best or trying out the best quality gear. That is it guys. Have a good week. Be safe, train hard. Cheers, God bless.